big story of the day. Confusion clouds crucial diplomacy between US and Iran. White House has announced that their delegation will be traveling to Pakistan for talks with Iran and will be arriving there by today evening. However, Iran has flatly denied any direct meeting with the US delegation there and has maintained that no talks are planned and says that the message will be conveyed through Pakistan only. Now, this raises a serious question over what is really happening behind the scenes, because our Iranians have made it quite clear that there is no planned meeting with the US delegation in Pakistan, at least for this moment. They ruled out any expectation of the direct talks with the US as well. The representatives that are going to arrive in Islamabad later today is what we're learning so far. So let me tell you what the foreign minister has in fact stated on this, because before arriving in Pakistan, he took to social media to announce that he is embarking on the tour to Islamabad. And very important, because he has also gone on to say that he will also be going to Oman and then to Russia as well. So he said on the way and on the agenda will be the bilateral matters between Iran and Pakistan. Talks on the regional development is what he has stated on social media. In fact, he has already arrived in Pakistan. All eyes will be on when the US delegation will be arriving there in Islamabad later in the evening today is what we are learning. So that remains to be seen what really happens. But there is a major contradiction that is coming when it comes to both the sides. A major contradiction is emerging on US-Iran talks in Pakistan, deepening uncertainty around the next diplomatic move, while Iran has clearly, as we told you, ruled out any direct engagement with the US representatives. The White House has insisted that talks are still on track when it comes to Islamabad. US President Donald Trump has dispatched envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner to Pakistan, claiming that they could meet Iran's foreign minister there. And also, on the other hand, Iran has flatly rejected this narrative, stating that no such meeting is planned and any communication will only happen indirectly, and it will happen directly only with Pakistan, and they can convey the message then later to US.
The president has decided to dispatch Special Envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner back to Islamabad. The Iranians want to talk. They want to talk in person. And so the president is, as I've said many times to all of you, always willing to give diplomacy a chance. So Steve and Jared will be heading to Pakistan tomorrow to hear the Iranians out. We hope progress will be made, and we hope that positive developments will come from this meeting. And we will see. And the president, the vice president, the secretary of state will be waiting here in the United States for updates, and the vice president, I understand, is on standby and will be willing to dispatch to Pakistan if we feel it's a necessary use of his time.
And now the bigger question is, will the talks collapse there in Pakistan, and is in fact the diplomacy headed for a dead end? Let me tell you what the both sides are saying. As far as Iran is concerned, they have drawn a red line. They have said that they will not be speaking to the US delegation in Islamabad. On the other hand, when it comes to US, they have said that the envoys, they are heading to Pakistan, and there is a possibility of the dialogue there. No meeting during the visit of the foreign minister is what Iran has said, and US has said that both of their the top officials are part of the delegation. They will be pushing for diplomacy when it comes to the war. Iran has said that and confirmed that no direct engagement will be taking place. White House has claimed that Iran talks are still on the table. So that is the latest as far as this particular visit of both the delegations to Islamabad is concerned. Iranian delegation has already arrived there. The US delegation will be arriving there later today is what we are learning. Let me go across to Abdullah Moman, who's joining us live on the broadcast from Islamabad. Thank you so much for joining us. Give us more clarity as to what is expected there in Pakistan, because the Iranian delegation has already arrived. They have said that they will not be having any dialogue with the US delegation. What is the US side saying, and what preparations are also underway there in Pakistan?
Thank you so much for having me in this show, and it's very clear that this is not a collapse to the dialogue, and we are constantly saying that the backdoor diplomacy is still working. That's why the US President Donald Trump announced extension in the ceasefire, and then following that, the Pakistan's foreign minister and CDF reportedly contacted with the foreign minister of Iran, and following that, they visited Pakistan it was mentioned by the Iranian officials that this was a bilateral visit and there is no direct engagement with the U.S. officials. While on the other side, United States has mentioned that the delegation will arrive in Islamabad. But still, this is an ongoing diplomacy, and Pakistan's government and diplomatic sources are confirming Russia and in Anwar Muscat, because it is this visit, the peace deal is linked with the uranium as well as the nuclear deal, as well the Strait of Hormuz. So Iran is engaging various partners, including Russia as well as the Muscat on this, and there are confirmed reports from the Pakistan's Foreign Office officials and the government officials that the second round of talks will be held in Islamabad in the upcoming week, and there will be direct engagement between the United States and Iran.
Absolutely. So all preparations are underway in Pakistan. In fact, the Iranian delegation has already arrived and the US delegation will be arriving there in the evening. Several key issues, including the Strait of Hormuz and also the naval blockade, that is also on will be on the table, in fact, if the talks take place. So on this, I'll come back to you once again. Let me tell our viewers about who is leading the talks and who has arrived there, who will be arriving there in Islamabad. As far as the US side is concerned, Jared Kushner, who is the son-in-law of Donald Trump and also the key negotiator, Steve Witkoff, remember these two were part of the round one as well. He is the Middle East special envoy, and J.D. Vance, he will not be coming to Islamabad, but from what we are learning as far as the White House is concerned, that he is on standby if talks gain traction and if there is a breakthrough. Let me tell you about who has arrived there from the Iranian side. On your screen is the man who led the first round of talks as well. His name is Abbas Araghchi. He is the foreign minister of Iran. In fact, he led the talks last time as well, and he has already arrived in Islamabad. Then from there, he will be going to Oman and also Russia as well. So as far as Iran is concerned, they have made it quite clear that they will be having the dialogue with Pakistan only and not with the US delegation. So it remains to be seen what really pans out there as far as the peace talks are concerned. On that, we have a breaking update coming in, a statement that is coming from Donald Trump, because now he has said that Iran is preparing to present a fresh offer to US, and they will be keeping their eye on that. That deal is aimed at the US demand, is what Donald Trump has said, that they are making an offer. That is a big claim that is coming from Donald Trump, that we will have to see what really pans out there and what Iran has to offer. All right, let me tell you more about what Donald Trump has claimed so far, because he is striking a very optimistic tone, saying that Iran is making an offer to the United States, and that is a claim that is coming from Donald Trump just ahead of this crucial visit of his delegation to Islamabad, that Iran will be making an offer right there, is what he has gone on to say. That offer is aimed at US's demands. There have been several demands that US has put forth, and that also includes reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. They are making an offer, is something that remains to be seen. We will have to see, is what Donald Trump has said. So they will be keeping an eye on the proposal that will be given by Iran, if at all that happens there in Islamabad, is what we are learning so far. On that, we have another breaking update coming in as the tensions in the Strait of Hormuz continues. Remember, that is one key friction point when it comes to the war in West Asia. Tensions are continuing to simmer in the Strait of Hormuz, with fresh reports pointing to a sharp escalation at the sea. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has reportedly seized vessel in this waterway, claiming that they violated the rules and ignored the repeated warning. Iran has claimed that the ship was operating without any proper license there, disrupting navigation safety in the region as well. And some reports also suggest a link between the targeted vessel and the Western network, fueling claims of a broader geopolitical standoff.